Shall we go at right on 8:03?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite politician.
What politician is 8:03?
AOC.
AOC.
Oh, boom.
I
Good.
know how his
Great.
brain works, obviously.
Fuck me. Well, it's not gonna get any better from here. Welcome to My Brother, My Brother's Friend and Me, a podcast where two ex-evangelical siblings and an ex-Catholic non-sibling watch Christian media and either praise or condemn it. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And I'm not Caspian.
And this week, we hop aboard the subway to Narnia as we discuss the 2008 sequel, Prince Caspian. Before we navigate a host of confusing racial stereotypes, be sure to like and comment on this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter at MBMBFandme. Gentlemen,
I need to come out of the gates and say that I said this was my favorite movie. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen this movie in a minute. It's not as good.
This is just my reality tonight.
And if you need to guess what political climate is happening,
If you need to know where I live.
Michael's neighbors were recently ransacked.
Yeah, my neighbor's house was broken into, and they're, pretty shaken up, and so am I.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Some of your neighbors wanted to get ransacked.
Some of my neighbors were trying to incite ransacking.
And now some of your neighbors are like, actually, we wanted them to ransack us, but you shouldn't hold them responsible for ransacking and stealing our house and trying to murder everyone in it. And also, I pay taxes to your neighbors, so I'm a little bit upset that it got ransacked too, but we're going to ignore that right now. Otherwise, we'll be here literally all night.
Yeah, we will.
Back to Narnia, a world of creatures ruled by men, as it should be if you're British.
Mm-hmm.
So you were wrong. This film, I won't say it's a step down. It is a steep leap down from the last one.
I think I'm just comparing it to how bad the third one is.
Oh my god.
The third one
That's horrifying.
sucks so bad. I can't wait to watch it with you guys.
Real quick, just what do y'all think was wrong with this one? Because it had a lot of fight scenes, and I was like, these are right fight scenes.
So I'm going to save a little bit of that for the end, because I think there is a good film in here. It's just, they took the first, and this is what's wrong with this film. They took the first draft and said, no bad ideas, we're keeping everything in, nothing was left on the cutting room floor, not a single second of footage went to waste, there is no director's cut. They were like, yes, let's have 5-minute galloping scenes. Gallop, 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 every single scene. I don't know that there was editing. I think it was just continuous shot, 2.5 hours. They looked at the time and said, oh shit, we cannot make a 3-hour movie.
I think for me, Michael has definitely tapped into one of the things I hated most about this movie, which was the length, which is something I didn't like about the first movie, honestly. This movie also lost a lot of the wonder, the wonder for me, there was no walking backwards through the wardrobe into snow,
It's very much like the gritty reboot, right? It's very much like Narnia, but not like you remember it before. Now we have political intrigue, military conflict, sexual tension.
But not between who you think.
The part that really bugs me too is I like the climactic battle in this one way more than the other one.
It's, from a tactical standpoint, which we will get into,
oh my
much
God.
better done.
Aaron and I are going to have some takes this one.
I actually have a break in my notes where I said, let Aaron and my brother talk about tactics.
Great, good.
My notes were exceptionally unhinged. I sent you two a little screenshot, so I will be interjecting some of my notes because this film made me feel a type of way,
I
and
have
it was not positive.
no idea if any of our listeners will get like this idea through this like analogy, but like I fucking Peter is the Robert E. Lee of military leaders. Bad.
Yeah. Which is to say, he stumbled into success and is forever memorialized in Narnia.
Lost more than he won.
Yeah, fucking. So
Loser.
we really get several Pickett's charges in this film alone. But
Have you attempted to charge them?
Yeah, when you mentioned the climactic fight scene, my head went, well, which one?
Yeah,
there are like 8.
This
Yeah.
does have a like Return of the King kinda. It ends multiple times. Okay, so
Okay, we have to do it.
Yeah, we have to get into the plot. I will spend so much time ragging on this.
So I'm just gonna work through Wikipedia as we normally do.
Yeah. Which,
So
let's point out something really fast. The Wikipedia synopsis for this film makes it seem like it's maybe a soft 90 minutes with opening and closing music.
my God,
Which it should have been.
This
Yeah.
Wikipedia article is sparse.
But I actually don't blame whomever edited the Wikipedia article. It's because that little happens in this film. The actual plot review is going to be possibly our shortest one yet.
There's an entire side character that's completely left out of the Wikipedia that I'm like, I loved him, and it really... Okay, we'll get into it. So, this takes place in Narnia, but 1,000 years have passed. And you're like, ooh, I wonder what's happening. And it just starts with a dude, and a pregnancy, and a giving birth.
It starts with childbirth, which
Yeah.
is the scariest thing.
I put in my notes, we open with childbirth, and I think I'm in the wrong film because I did not remember any childbirth in the last Narnia.
So what I need you guys to do is pull out your whiteboard that you keep next to you so I can explain the political intrigue that they drop on us. Okay, so we have Caspian, who's is it Telemarine? Is that how you pronounce it?
Telmarine, yes.
Telmarine.
Telmarine.
I added an A for fun. You have Caspian, who is the prince of the Telmarine, and he is woken up by his mentor, Dr. Cornelius. And Dr. Cornelius tells him that his uncle Miraz, the dead king's brother, has just had a son. Well, his wife, his aunt had the son. The king didn't. That would be cooler. And now Uncle Miraz is going to try to kill Caspian, so that way the Uncle Miraz is the next in line for the kingship.
Well, but he has a son, which means it's secure. And I like the idea that Caspian was like, well, there's a 50-50 chance that it won't be a girl, it won't be a boy, so I can just chill here. Like, I shouldn't take a quick hike and then, like, wait and see if it's a dude. Like, I'm just gonna hang out and wait, and if they show up and fucking unload, like, 8 different crossbows through my cool bed windows, then fine. It'll be... that's just how it is.
So the
Caspian is very stupid.
The Telmarine have what I can only describe as repeater crossbows. Like,
Yeah, they fucking own.
these things just pump bolts into whatever they aim at.
You know what does not own, though? All of their accents.
Which
Okay.
are...
Is it too early for me to break down the Telmarines are racist?
I think this is a good time, too. Because, like,
Okay.
what the fuck else?
Alright, so... They explain at the end of this movie that the Telmarines are actually from Earth, and, like, they are the descendants of pirates. Okay, fucking weird, but alright, whatever. But I went to the Narnia wiki fandom page, and I quote, "The Telmarines that conquered Narnia were actually humans from Earth. On Earth, a group of pirates who intermarried with women from islands in the Pacific found an island with a cave that had an entrance to Narnia, the Narnian world. The pirates found the land of Telmar uninhabited, the original colony of Calormenes, having been turned into dumb beasts by Aslan for their behavior and destroyed each other." So the Telmarines, not only are they... So firstly, they're Asian people, actually, which not great. They're Asian/Pacific Islanders. So, okay, we have the Asian Pacific Islanders conquering Narnia and becoming, a fascist empire. However, In the books, the Telmarines are of light coloring from what is told in the books. Um, Most adaptations are true to this detail. However, the producers of the Disney Walden version of the Narnia films chose to give the Telmarines a Mediterranean ancestry. Thus, they are dark-skinned and have Italian-Spanish accents. It is hinted the Telmarines are descended from Spanish pirates. The Telmarines helmet is inspired by traditional Spanish conquistadors.
Because I got super conquistador vibes from them.
Well, yeah.
Yes. I mean, that was the point, but also they're Asians. So...
But also, the best part is that you know why they're Spanish? I did some fun fact research, and originally the director and the filmmakers wanted to make the Telmarines to be French because they had a, quote, confrontational history with the English.
Oh, I wish they were the French so bad. Just
but
that
then,
was rule, but...
ho, Caspian.
But then they couldn't get the castle that they wanted to film at, and they had to film at one in Spain. So they were like, "Fuck it, let's make it like Spanish."
Holy shit, that's the dumbest reason I've ever heard.
They fell ass backwards into Spanish.
Yep, and according to the producer, he said Caspian is a, quote, contrast to the lily white Pevenses.
Great. Love to draw a racial contrast between the white good guys and the dark-skinned bad guys.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, when I was a kid, I watched this movie and went, fuck humans, the Minotaurs and Centaurs are the good guys, I'm loving this, this is awesome. And now as I'm older, I'm like, fuck, can we just get fucking Peter out of here? Susan, you're on thin ice. Edmund, you're still cool. Lucy, you're chill. Everyone else,
like, that's
fuck
exactly...
off.
That's the thing, though. Like, we talked about in our last time, like, the Minotaurs and the Dwarves and, like, the Goblins were all, like, Mongolian patterned and, like, you know, representative of brown people, but now they're good as long as they're ruled by white people. It's some real fucking white man's burden shit, and I'm not psyched about it.
You know what bummed me out the most? The fucking gross ones, they all are extinct now. You know, the gross monsters from the first one that fought with the white
Oh, yeah,
witch?
the ones that were chilling with the witch. Yeah, they all disappeared. And, you know, 1,300 years later, and they're all gone. That happened completely naturally, and we didn't do a Narnian genocide.
Yeah, no way.
Peter the Magnificent didn't lead a Reconquista into the forest and massacre all the bad Minotaurs.
No, that was obviously the Telmarines.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what the fucking conflict in this film is. It's just like, oh, the Telmarines are gonna do a genocide to finish these fuckers off once and for all.
Oops, all genocide.
If our Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe episode wasn't indicative of this, almost every bad plot point so far in both film 1 and 2 was C.S. Lewis's doing. There are moments that I paused and would look up a plot point and just be like, was this movie thing or was this a, C.S. Lewis book thing? And all of the ones that made me want to vomit or groan or roll my eyes were C.S. Lewis in a 9-to-1 ratio.
I cannot think about these movies the same from our last podcast where I think Aaron pointed out that this was just a land of savages waiting for white people to come rule them. And it really fucked up my entire perspective of this entire universe. And now I can't sleep at night.
Yeah, man, wait till you learn about the entire history of the British Empire.
Yeah.
We have to move on to the plot!
Alright, now we have to
I
talk
love
about
us
horseback
avoiding
riding.
the plot.
Horseback riding.
I mean,
for 15
if we
minutes.
burn through it too fast, this podcast will be 20 minutes long!
Yeah.
Alright, so Caspian's on the run, and he was given a magical horn from Queen Susan. I don't know who that is from, I think his mom, right?
The professor gives him the horn. It's Susan's horn from 1,300 years ago.
Right,
Yeah.
right, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
They don't just have two Queen Susans.
Michael, look, I'm not on screen because I'm looking at the Wikipedia, but look me in the eyes and tell me that motherfucker would put two Susans.
Have you read the Telmarines' names?
You got me
I
there.
guarantee you he would have not named them something as English as Susan.
So Caspian is running, and he falls off his horse, and then he runs into 2 Narnian dwarves and a talking badger. I just need to run through the names of these individuals. You have Trumpkin, Nickabrick, and Truffle Hunter.
Truffle Hunter is the badger. should be clarified.
Just
not that it matters, but
Would it make it better if it wasn't?
I just because I think in the book there's like a weird like story arc for Nickabrick, who's like, oh, or like in this movie, right? One of them is like, oh, actually he didn't trust in the light good enough, and he turned evil or whatever. So like it does kind of matter who is who,
That
unfortunately.
is a good point. So Trumpkin is captured by the soldiers, while Caspian is saved by Nickabrick and Truffle Hunter. And Caspian blows his magical horn to bring back the Founding Fathers from one moon to another moon.
Holy shit, you're so right.
To bring back the founders of the country for one until the next new moon.
Oh my god. We'll have to cut that joke because we'll give people ideas.
Oh, Michael, this is
This is what happened.
Oh,
They broke. They were trying to find the Constitution, and if they could just,
so
blow it.
I have to
Blow
explain
the
this.
trumpet to the Constitution, and then George Washington appears.
So this is a Yahoo question from my brother, and me, where it was, if you blew the magical horn to bring back the Founding Fathers, is now the best time to do it. You only have from one new moon to the next. Oh, sorry about that. I just knew it would really get Aaron. So you've got the children back in England. A year has passed, and I was trying to figure out, historically speaking, when this was. Like, maybe the last movie was 1943. This is 1944. That kind of makes sense for them being like back in England. Kind of, you know.
But also, like, the Blitz is still going on, and they still have, like, fucking World War I ass helmets, so, like, who knows?
It's all funky. And they're, like, doesn't Peter get into, like, a fight?
Yeah, oh, this is good, because Peter's like, this motherfucker looked at me funny, and then he said that I should say sorry to him, and I told him that I'm King Peter the Magnificent, who ruled over the 9 realms, and I told him to lick my boots like the peasant he is, and then he got mad at me for some reason.
Peter fucking sucks.
Peter sucks shit.
He sucks, but unpopular opinion, he's hot in this movie.
Michael, gays don't
Michael.
deserve rights, it's official. They got to my own brother. You're like the people thirsting over Buffalo Man.
I am not. Peter's not that bad.
I thought Caspian would be more attractive. Is he not?
I actually put in my notes that Peter is hot and a himbo. Caspian is not, but Ben Barnes, his actor, is. For me, it's the extensions. They just really do me in. Every scene he's in, it's the extensions and the accent. I laugh whenever Caspian's on my screen.
Michael, do me a solid and look up Caspian from the 3rd movie. I think that's the one that awoke in me. Man, how did I not know I was bisexual? Anywho, so they're in the tube, and they're waiting for their train to show up, and then suddenly they're transported to Narnia through a weird scene that I didn't get as a kid.
I kind of like the, narrative efficiency of being like, and now they're just in Narnia.
Because, fuck it, we couldn't do 3 hours.
We couldn't have them, get delivered a wardrobe for them to walk in through.
And there they discover that their old castle has been ruined, and they are able to save Trumpkin, who was about to be drowned. I believe Trumpkin was played by Peter Dinklage, right?
Yeah, and it is offensive what they did to Peter Dinklage in this movie. And that is why he was paid so much money for it, which you can tell because he does not actually shoot scenes with any of the cast.
That rules.
Yeah.
Every time you would see a shot, just for our listeners, so you'd never have to watch this, you would see him and the backs of everyone else or just their torsos, and then you would cut to the cast from behind him, in which a person was wearing a wig that was very much not the same hair front and back from what we were seeing, but they just called it good enough. It was the worst movie magic I've ever seen. Like, they went to Party City and bought yellow blonde wig, slapped it on somebody, and called it good.
It's to much more extent when you realize that, like when the movie magic breaks when you watch Lord of the Rings, and you realize that the actors are actual hobbits, and you start seeing their stunt doubles, but to a much greater extent.
Yeah, it's good. Real quick though, I want to point out there was one thing that I found that was like interesting and also funny, which is that they're like looking through the ruins of Cair Paravel, and Edmund's like, "Oh shit, this piece on the ground is from my chess set," and then Peter's like, "Well, which chess set?" And Edmund's like, "I didn't have a solid gold chess set in Finchley, did I? Fucking moron." And like I feel like this movie missed an opportunity to like actually have like kind of an interesting conversation about what it's like to be not only kids who used to be powerful and like now are back in their kid bodies and are like trying to struggle with that, but also like what it would be like to be the founding fathers coming back 1300 years later and being like, "Oh shit, things have changed and the political dynamics are all fucked up and we got to do something." Like, but they don't do anything interesting with either of those
You
ideas.
freed the what? Fuck the founding fathers.
Yeah.
I also really hate the sibling dynamics in these three movies. At no point do I buy it ever. Like they don't ever have like a really. I think the only time is when it's Susan trying to shoot her bow in the first movie. Do I really feel like the siblings having a good fun time? You know. Like, is Narnia? I feel like they just never really clicks for me. But I could talk about this forever. We should probably go to, God, I love this sentence. Meanwhile, Nickabrick and Truffle Hunter lead Caspian to the dancing lawn. What the fuck?
Yeah. You know.
The
It's
dancing
some real
lawn.
fantasy bullshit. Yeah, the dancing lawn.
And this is where Caspian goes full diplomacy. And is like, "Yo, help me get my throne back," to the old Narnians. And they're like, sure.
They're like, "Hold on, you're the descendant of the king that like tried to like wipe us out, right? Cool, yeah, we're in, sold.
You just don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do that. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable."
Now you know not what to do. Oh, also, there's a really fun part where Lucy's like, "A bear!" and runs towards the bear to go talk to it.
That's
just, like,
really funny.
Sprints towards a fucking bear. Like, dude, you haven't been here in 1300 years. And I just am imagining the first day Lucy is back in our planet and in England instead of back home. And she sees like a fox and just sprints after it, is like, "My friend the fox," and chases it for 6 hours.
And then has to get a rabies shot the next day.
Oh god, Lucy, I adore you, but it's a fucking bear. And then, what's his name? Trumpkin has to kill it. He's like, "It wanted to eat you. What the fuck, man?" But yeah, and then our lead kids meet up with Caspian, and they all journey to Aslan's How. I forgot that's what it's named. It's so dumb.
Also, is this when, yeah, because the kids meet Caspian, he and Peter have that like fight scene.
Yeah. Like,
Where
I'm
they
the dumb dude leader here. No, I'm the dumb dude leader here.
Yeah, and like they don't even kiss, but Lucy.
I just think we should leave it at that. Michael upset that they didn't kiss.
In my notes, I just have Peter wants to fuck Caspian so bad it makes him look stupid.
Yep.
We've all been there.
I just love how obvious it is that those are the two with the sexual tension, and then they shoehorn a heterosexual romance in.
Oh, by the way, Susan thinks that she likes Caspian. You gotta put that in there in the end. Like, nah, dog. We can see the sparks.
No. She went up to kiss him and gave him her brother's number. A real wing woman.
Well, and
That's
we
right.
get this moment with Lucy saying that she saw Aslan, and none of the rest of them believing her. And I just want to take a moment and say, so no one learned anything from the first film.
My God, yeah.
Well, Edmund literally says, like, well, the last time I didn't believe Lucy, I looked pretty stupid. But then everyone else is like, okay, well, you're both morons.
Yeah! Like,
Edmund in this movie slaps. Every, like, the three big moments I think of Edmund are, like, this moment, then there's the moment during, like, right before the duel that comes up. Like, he just fucking steals the show. Oh, and then with our surprise villain show up, he's so fucking good.
Also, one funny Edmund moment, when Peter is like, oh, we gotta go investigate our old house. Let me just craft this torch out of the stuff that I found on the ground for 5 minutes. And then after it, he's like, oh man, does anybody have like a match or something? Or maybe we can get some flint. And Edmund's like, oh, I just have this flashlight. And I was like, okay, that's actually the only believable sibling
yeah.
moment in this movie.
Which actually turns out to be Chekhov's flashlight.
Yeah, the flashlight unfortunately is a plot point, which sucks, but
It's very plot heavy.
God, they could cut out this next part we're about to talk, and the movie would be the same.
They could have cut out pretty much everything so far in our story, and the plot really would not be different.
So the only cool thing about Aslan's How is that it's built over the stone table, where Aslan sacrificed himself. It'd be the equivalent of if we found Jesus' cross and then built like a cool church over it, which the Catholics would have done.
we tried to, didn't we? Oh, that's Beth. I think I'm thinking of Bethlehem.
Yeah. Catholics
There's
love
a
to build
cool-
churches over holy sites.
If they, oh God, man, the problem is that the true cross got splintered up into 1,000 different pieces, and now every third person has one. So like,
There are like 45 sets of the 12 disciples' bones.
and they're all true. They're all the real ones. It's crazy.
If Jesus could turn those fish and bread into meals for everyone,
That's
he could
just transubstantiation, baby.
he multiplied the bones. So anyway, there's this big debate over whether or not they should wait at the How for Aslan or bring the fight to them. And they choose to bring the fight to them because there hasn't been an action sequence in the 15 minutes. And then we get an actually like interesting fight, I think. So pretty much they need to go invade Mraz's castle, and they do this by sending in a strike force on griffins.
That's not before that Caspian's people raid them, and Caspian, being the messy gay bitch he is, signs an X at the end because he is Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
And felt the need to carve an X because he's Caspian the 10th. And it's just the messiest bitch moment in this movie where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sign my name in only a way my uncle will think.
Also, fun fact, this is where Lil Nas X got it from. I hope he hears this and sues me.
I do too.
That's what I want. That's how I want to go. Lil Nas
The
X,
thing is
I'll
that
give you all
Lil
the money.
Nas X is cool, so he would just sue you for making a bad joke.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I want, man.
That's
So
fair.
they've got a pretty like fun attack plan that I found really interesting as a little kid. And the idea is all of the main characters ride in on griffins and use the flashlight to signal when they've opened the gate for the main army to charge into the castle. Weird castle design that an entire invading army can get within charging distance.
They're just sort of like waiting outside. Like they're just like, put the gates down. Like, bro, let us in. We're just standing here.
They got
No
like
one's noticed us.
the two finger emoji pointing to each other, like, guys.
Please let us in.
And Caspian goes to kill his uncle at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, we have the character that's not mentioned in this fucking Wikipedia, which is Reepicheep, the mouse,
Reepicheep.
who's fucking awesome.
I hate Reepicheep so much.
You coward! Why?
Because he's like Puss in Boots, but worse.
He's like Puss in Boots, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know, from the same director, so...
Oh my god!
It's not stealing if it's from yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, no, it's just, it's...
Self-referential.
It's
Allegory.
it's not a metaphor. It's an allegory.
It's an allegory of Puss in Boots.
It is not an allegory. It's if Puss in Boots existed in this universe as a mouse.
Oh, I fucking love this podcast.
Stupid podcast.
So they are trying to open up the gates while Caspian goes on his little revenge tour of Inigo Montoya. And
Who, fun fact, was his inspiration for the accent.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes!
God.
This movie's so fucking dumb. Everyone, like you said, Michael, everyone's like, what's the first idea that came into my head? Yep, that's good.
Mission accomplished. We did it.
So there's a fun part where like a guard gets the flashlight from what's the fucker's name? Tunman,
Edmund.
right? Edmund.
Tunman
is dead.
Yeah. I think
Edmund.
you're just making up names.
Yeah, I have so much energy, y'all. From Edmund, and starts like flashing it around wildly, and the generals or leaders of the little army look at each other and go, "What the fuck symbol is that?" And that's fun.
I like that part.
And they begin charging before the gates open. So all of the main characters have to go and like pry open the gate real quick, and they just get it open in time for the army to rush in. But oh no! They got repeater crossbows on all the walls.
I was gonna say, I've done this move in Medieval 2 Total War a billion times. Just like, yeah, let them come in, and then when they're stuck fighting my shitty little peasants, I just put my crossbowmen on the wall, and then unload until they don't have any more arrows, and then I win the battle.
And, like, what bugged me the most is y'all got griffins. Y'all got griffins.
Again. The same thing, the same problem from last time. They just like, okay, we're gonna use our air support once.
This is like if we exactly the first movie, drop your rocks and then go fucking drink some tea or whatnot. Those griffins should have been on those fucking walls. It's nighttime. Grab a soldier, bring him up high, and then drop him. They're not gonna see you. They're not gonna shoot you. It's nighttime. God damn it, man.
Well, here's the thing. Any normal film, this would be like the climactic fight where everything goes down. But this film is just so dead set on having multiple moments where you think, yeah, we're going to get somewhere plot-wise. Oh, and it's taken from you at the last minute.
The worst thing, too, is that, like, yeah, nothing happens. There's, like, the guy that Caspian goes to assassinate is like, yeah, you're a big weenie and you can't kill me. No. And he runs away.
And
then, like,
I killed your dad.
Yeah, I killed your dad. Bye, bitch.
And I typed in all caps, OMG, he cannot say the father thing. Please leave me alone, because it's literally almost a 1-for-1 line reading of The Princess Bride, and that perturbs me to levels that I cannot explain.
But it's as if Inigo Montoya started losing after he found out he killed his dad.
You killed my father. Prepare to... Oh, ow.
Oh.
You shot me.
Fuck. We did get a fun, like, Davy Crockett Alamo of a Minotaur holding up the gate before it gets crushed down and all of the soldiers get shot to death as they try to retreat, and then our brave heroes bravely run away.
On the griffins that were just
chilling. God. And half the army dies.
Yeah, and then Lucy, like, when they're coming back, Lucy is standing there just like, oh, what happened? Did you guys get fucking massacred like I told you you would, you fucking nerds? Why didn't you listen to me? I'm 8 years old, idiot.
It's good to know that Peter, as a king, he won that one battle, and then just fucking kicked back.
chilled.
Now we get
He felt completely fine taking over Caspian's rebellion 1,300 years later.
we do have a fun scene after this where Caspian's like, "Fuck, what do I do?" And Nickelbrick's like, "Bud, I got you. I'm gonna have this bird hag and werewolf."
I'm gonna ask the Muppets to do some necromancy for me.
And they pull
They
out,
really are necromantic Muppets.
they fucking pull out this wall of ice with fucking Tilda Swinton. Fucking
Tilda Swinton's just in there.
just vibing in it, and they're like,
Well, they have her wand too, and that's like what they're chanting with to do this incantation. And those two seem to be having the most fun in this movie.
yeah.
I'm here for the Muppets, honestly.
And they
I'm
don't-
Team Muppet.
Team Muppet. They should have brought, if they brought the White Witch back, ooh, that would have been a spicy ending. Ooh.
Okay, but here's the thing. I was like, oh, they're not gonna just have Tilda Swinton in this movie for 1 minute for no reason. That's crazy. Of course she's gonna come back. I was like 100% like, oh, this is the thing that's gonna, like, yeah, maybe she'll help them win, and then she'll turn, and that'll be, the big problem at the end. And then it's not.
But she does return. Tilda Swinton makes a surprise cameo in this film twice.
Fucking what?
I am
Wait,
dropping
twice?
an image in the chat,
Hold on.
What the
and I'm
fuck?
going to be tweeting this.
Michael, what could you be talking?
So Tilda Swinton decided to come to this movie to be the White Witch and to make a cameo at the very end as a as a fucking centaur in full prosthetics.
Why the fuck does Tilda Swinton love Narnia?
Because Tilda Swinton loves prosthetics. I've never seen an actress who goes, yes, please, whatever you want. Fake nose, fake eyes, all of it.
How do you do a cameo in a movie you were already in?
Twice.
It's just working in a movie. Oh my god. So yeah, then there's this weird little fight, and then Edmund, like, fucking shatters the wall, and he gives, like, a, "What are you gonna do?" shrug. We all
Well, he
been
was like,
there.
oh, because Peter was all like, oh yeah, I need the help of the White Witch because I'm a fucking awful commander. And then Edmund's like, no, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, honestly,
Stupid.
Peter didn't need the help.
Well, and Edmund, I love that he looked up at Peter and was like, oh yeah, I'm sure you had that. And it's just like such a, like, that is a true sibling moment because we've all been that annoyed with a sibling before.
Edmund fucking kills it in this movie.
Edmund is the best part of this movie, yeah.
Alright, so then we have our second climactic battle of the movie, which takes part in 4 different areas. So, Mraz brings his big army to Aslan's Howl, and Lucy and Susan go to find Aslan. Because fuck it, they can probably find him. And in order to buy them time, Peter is like, one-on-one.
1v1 me, bro.
Yeah, he goes full Giuliani and says trial by combat. And Edmund brings Mraz the, like, you want duel? And Mraz is like, who am I dueling, you? And Edmund's like, no, Peter's the high king, I'm only the lower king. It's confusing. Because I like
That's
Edmund
fine.
in this movie.
It was good.
Yes.
He sold it.
It's a good little bit. And then there's this cool little fight where Peter and Mraz fucking duel it out. Oh wait, I think we're missing one of the weirdest reveals where Dr. Cornelius is like, what, part giant or something?
Part
Wait,
dwarf.
really?
Part dwarf, yeah.
Okay.
Like he sits down with Caspian, he's like, yeah, part dwarf.
Well,
It happens.
I feel like we may have glossed over this, but this film is filled with moments like that, and it will either put something in that you're like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Or it will beat you over the head with it so hard that you're like, ow, I get it. I see it through my screen. So you have this moment where you're wondering, what importance is this to the plot at all that he's part dwarf? And then in the scene with the witch, once the ice breaks, Peter looks up and it's a, like, stone carving of Aslan, looking like he's looking at him disappointedly. And I can practically hear the director Do you guys get it? Do you see what I did there?
Because it's Aslan and then
He's Jesus.
Yes. Real quick though, I think you did miss a super important romantic subplot, which is that while Susan and Lucy are like trying to go find Aslan, they get pursued by these fighters. And then Susan's like, you know what, Lucy, you gotta go do this yourself. I'm gonna take all these fools alone. And she does kill like most of them with her heat-seeking arrows. But then like one gets through and he's about to kill her, and then Caspian shows up and he's like, haha. And then they previously had a joke about how like, you know, Caspian should keep the horn because like maybe that he would need to call her again. And then he's like, are you sure you don't need this horn actually? Because I'm here to rescue you. Haha. I'm not gay at all.
Yeah, he runs up to Susan, goes, blow my horn, and then leaves. It's great.
Well, and I love that they were like, let's give Susan a fight scene because the actress really made a compelling argument, but she can't handle it herself. We need to be sure that we're reinforcing gender roles very strongly here, and she has to be rescued by a man.
She's got to be rescued by a gay prince. It's just what we have to do. And I really like the ending of the duel between Peter and Miraz, where Peter looks at Caspian and is like, fucking kill your uncle. And Caspian's like, you know what? I still can't. So I'm not gonna. And Miraz is like, oh, thank God. And then his general comes up and gives him a hug. And he's like, atta boy, you did it. And then fucking stabs him with one of Susan's arrows.
Okay, I liked that part because like I just thought that some of the parts in the rest of the duel were boring, but I like the part where he was like, "Let's take a break," and then Peter was like, "Yeah, I'm kicking your ass right now, but sure, we can take a break." And then he obviously comes back and tries to stab him in the back, and Peter wins. But there was a really good part where Peter was like, you know, Edmund, I've been kind of a douchebag to you your whole life, and I just want to. And then Edmund pops his dislocated shoulder back, and he's like, I don't want to hear this. just fucking win this duel, man.
So I thought the duel would have been perfectly serviceable if it weren't followed up by not one, but two separate betrayals by, you know, these other people. It just felt so lazy to have the Telmarines betray them like 3 times in a row. It felt so allegorical in such an aggressive way that I looked it up, and sure enough, it's C.S. Lewis.
But do you get it? They don't have honor. You get it? You get it?
Do you get it? Yeah, the sneaky, you know, Mediterranean / non-lily white people are dishonorable, and also they're the Urukai in this next fight scene. So, you know, my friend Tolkien gave me that one.
I said in all caps, Tolkien, come get your friend, several times in my notes. That is...
This film, at this last, like, 30 minutes, just becomes Two Towers, which is, like, really annoying.
But a bad one.
Yeah, great value, Two Towers. Like, it's generic brand that you could find at your local store.
RC Cola, just... Two Towers!
It's really stupid. Like, when they come in with their, like, big squares of infantry, like, they're all holding, like, the big, long halberds, like the Urukai were in the Two Towers were holding like their big pikes, and like, you know, I think they could have done something cool if they had kept their formations, but like we get this stupid like once they get close enough they break ranks and then just do like individual one-on-one duels, which is really annoying.
Aaron, can we just talk for a second about how most big movie fights just refuse to fight in rank, and it bugs me.
It's annoying.
Like, you don't organize and march in those ranks just for funsies.
Like 300, a movie ostensibly about the effectiveness of the phalanx, has them like, okay, we did the phalanx for about 30 seconds, now let's have just a ton of one-on-one duels. Like, it's so annoying.
You can't ninja kick when you're in a phalanx.
That's right, no. It's really stupid, and I think we should have more large battle sequences with people just sort of standing there and then occasionally jabbing people with long spears. I think that would be a much better film experience.
It lasts for anywhere from 35 to 487 minutes. I'm gonna just kind of gloss over this big fight because it sucks. The two sides fight each other, and then Lucy finds Aslan. Yay!
Yeah, she does find Aslan.
And then Aslan goes like, so I hate this fucking part of the movie. Fucking Ents, go get him!
Yep.
Well, here's
Tolkien,
the
come
thing,
get your
Josh.
friend.
Josh, the message you need to take from this movie is that nothing ever happens the same way twice.
Why the fuck didn't Aslan do this in the first movie? It would have been over in 35 minutes! Oh!
Can we also mention that the quality of Aslan's CGI varies greatly scene to scene in ways that sometimes I was questioning, is that a different lion? I knew Lucy was having a dream earlier in the film because I, in my notes, put, that's not fucking Aslan.
She should have known.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that way too. Like, I could have sworn they would have done something dumb because they introduced the fact that, like, it's the bear. The bear's not, friendly. So maybe like later on in the film, she'd be like, oh, a lion, and run up to a lion and then just get mauled.
Oh my god, what if she gets mauled, all of the siblings lose, the Telmarine win, magic's dead.
The White Queen arises from the broken slab to free Narnia. That's the third movie.
All the gremlins and giants come out of the trees. That would have been good, but no. So the trees start attacking soldiers. The soldiers are like, fuck. We're gonna run into the river. And
oh god, yeah, I forgot they have this whole routing sequence.
Guys, I need to read you this sentence. Aslan summons a river god. Did you get that from the context?
That's just what happened.
Yeah, that is just kind of what happened.
A river god? That's like Jesus coming down here and summoning a river god!
So hold on, it makes perfect sense in the way that the film has already aligned itself. So you know how Edmund is a king and Peter is a high king? Aslan is a god, capital G. River god is a god, lowercase g. I get it's confusing.
Oh, I hate
This is stupid.
Yeah, and it kills most of them.
Yeah, like, they all drowned. The ones who didn't are like, man. I think the river god did bite that man to death, though, which was really funny.
He ate him.
The general, yeah.
There is a really fucking cute part where, Reepicheep is brought up by his soldiers to Aslan because his tail got cut off. And all of his soldiers are like, we'll cut our tail off too. And Aslan's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Like, hey, y'all.
I'll just heal it. Oh my god. Y'all. And then heals his tail, and that becomes a plot point in the third movie.
Oh no.
Good, great, love that for us.
Yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy Caspian and Reepicheep and Edmund and Lucy.
No.
And another annoying cousin.
Does he keep the fucking accent?
Yes.
Oh.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Let's just fly through the rest of this, because there's not too much left. Yeah, and then Aslan is like, Caspian's king. We've brought peace. He allows some of the Telmarine to go back home to Earth.
It's very much like Abraham Lincoln being like, oh yeah, you know what? Once we freed all the enslaved black people, they can just go back to Liberia. It's fine.
Yeah. But this is the equivalent of, like, if, like, there was a Native American colonist conflict, and they just sent most of them back to Europe, which would be more interesting.
I mean, it's funnier, certainly.
It's much funnier. But also, the Native Americans were led by 4 teenagers.
Yeah, it would be very much like the Hunger Games happens, and then Jesus shows up, and then all of us, because we all have white people ancestry, just have to go back to Europe. And then the Native Americans are like, oh, sick.
It would be good for them.
I mean, can
It
I
would
just
be-
say that one sentence is significantly tighter, more thorough, and a better plot than this entire film. That is a movie I would watch.
It also has more world building.
Yeah.
They tried to do so much world building, and it was not well executed in any way.
So, there is a trend in these three movies, and I will just talk about these two for right now, where Aslan is in it less as it goes on. And I have a theory about that. I think the movie is trying to say it's easier to believe in Jesus when you're a child. I don't know why it's telling me that.
That's true, because they Logan's run Peter and Susan out of Narnia. They're like, now you're going to go off to liberal university, where they teach you that God is dead, so you can't come back to Narnia.
Yeah, and Susan, you're going to be too into lipstick and mini skirts to be back here.
I do get why Aslan was like, Peter, you fucking suck, leave.
Yeah, honestly, get rid of Peter, that's fine. But why did you kick Susan out?
She's just
Yeah, that's-
vibing.
Because she liked a gay boy? Like, that seems like an unfair punishment.
Yeah, my girlfriend has the same issue.
I mean, Susan and Caspian do kiss, and I said that Caspian kissed the wrong sibling.
Yes.
Completely true.
He was
But-
just-
But, like, Lucy's like, maybe I'll understand this when I'm older. And then Edmund's like, I'm older and I still don't understand it. Which I was like, oh, he's confirmed gay. Nice. We get the representation we so desperately crave in this movie.
But they
finally.
were older. They were older.
They were actually also older. They were 1,300 years older.
Yep.
Well, they went through puberty already. They spent 10 years or whatnot in Narnia.
Yeah, also, we had that whole joke that Michael had to cut out of the last one.
About whether or not they would fuck a centaur or a fawn.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yep,
Thanks.
that exact one. Thank
Yeah,
you. I
anytime.
appreciate you doubling up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 for 3, baby. So my only comment is, where do you think you would find Narnia, you guys? I think I would trip down a storm drain into Narnia.
Yeah.
So, I think that I would. This is a weird thing, but when I was a teenager, I would sometimes just like go to wild places in my hometown, and there was this one area where it was like a very graffitied up like drainage zone, like where all the city sewers would flow, and it was like just out in the open, and like people would like do graffiti of cartoon characters there. So I like to think that that is where I would find Narnia.
I know for a fact where I would find Narnia, and it is walking to the metro from work. I would go down the escalator, walk through the doors, and then I would be in Narnia. I'd be like, this shit again.
Michael, I do want to push back. I think you could also get to Narnia if you look too deeply into either of your cat's eyes.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. So, any like last comments you guys got on the second worst Narnia movie?
Was this a Christina Perri song that played at the end? I like Christina Perri, don't get me wrong, it's just...
What a pick!
No, it's, I actually saved, let's see, I have the soundtrack.
Holy fuck, Warwick Davis was Nick-a-Brick?
Oh, also, yeah, fun fact, another actor from a movie we've seen before that was not the first Narnia movie was in this film. Do y'all want to guess who that is?
I have no idea.
It's very specific. I think it was one of the generals. He was the police chief from Angels and Demons.
Oh, of course!
Oh, I like
Because
that.
he's Italian. Yeah.
I like that we have my brother's friend in Mia verse.
Yep.
Yep. The last song was actually a Regina Spektor song.
Oh, okay. Good for Regina. Just making that money.
So I have a couple of fun facts left. I've peppered them in throughout, but I love this particular one. So the actor who plays Prince Caspian, lost an MTV Movie Award the year that this came out. He was nominated for Best Breakthrough Actor. Any guesses at which 2008 film actor beat him out?
I have one!
I have no earthly idea.
I think you're going to be right.
I believe it was one Robert Pattinson.
Yes, it was.
Fucking Twilight.
That alone tells you how bad of an actor Ben Barnes is, because Robert Pattinson hated his job every single day, showed up, barely punched in, and won an MTV Movie Award over this guy and his awful accent.
Fucking Robert Pattinson has 2 modes, which is I'm gonna learn Old English for this fucking Lighthouse movie where I get cummed on by Willem Dafoe, or I'm not gonna work out as Batman because it sets a bad precedent.
You know, I don't respect that. Good for Robert.
I love it.
Obsessed.
I mean, this is like with love, Robert. Fuck it up.
So yeah, I really appreciated that. Tilda Swinton guest appearing as a centaur in full prosthetics was also
So
a top
funny
moment.
Oh man, I don't think there's. I hope that she has a surprise appearance in the 3rd one that I've just missed as a child. Because I've seen that movie once. I've seen this movie like a handful of times, not many. I've seen the first one a billion.
I actually realized upon about 10 minutes into this film that I've never seen it.
Really?
All of this was brand new for my eyes, and yeah.
I could have sworn we watched it together as children, but this might have been when you were like, hey, I don't want to go to see that movie with you guys, and then me and my dad just went.
Yeah, my mom and I were probably watching an age-inappropriate rom-com.
Yes. You bonded by watching an age-inappropriate rom-com. Me and my dad watched bad movies.
Yeah, this was all brand new.
So, you guys want to move on to your ratings?
Yeah, we might as well.
So first I do want to talk about how it is a shame that this wasn't even a decent film after the first film was pretty good. Because again, I actually think there is a, tight 90-minute film in there that is just so bogged down and drowned out by mediocrity and overly long shots and plot points that don't actually pertain to the plot. And Aaron, you pointed out one of my big notes, which was they left these juicy, really meaty, if they wanted it to be darker, which they kept saying this is a coming of age film, but also dark, but also a coming of age film, but also dark. And I think you can do that. But they just kind of chose not to.
Yeah.
And you can't speak it into existence, right? That might be the film you wanted to make, was a dark coming of age film. But you made neither of those.
Well, I think that, the problem was that they didn't do any character work. They just fucking threw all these, big battle scenes that didn't really add to the story. I feel like if they had, cut out one of the fucking 30-minute battle scenes and then cut one of the other ones in half and replaced it with, 10 minutes of character work, it could have been, a decent movie.
Yeah.
I think you hit it on the head with, both of you guys. The idea, I don't give a shit about any of the characters in this movie, and that's a fucking shame. And I feel like if you did just trim the fat and stick a little bit more of, give me a reason to care why Peter might die from King Uncle Miraz or whatever, I just don't give a fuck about that dick,
Yeah, it feels like the characters that have built the most actual plot importance, which are Edmund and Lucy, got the least screen time.
Well, don't you fucking worry, Michael. Because that is our new main characters are going to be Lucy and Edmund. And if you like their character work in the past 2 movies, you're going to love it in the 3rd.
Is that true? Because they are my favorite characters in these 2 movies.
Yeah, they do not jack shit with them.
Cool. Okay,
their characters are, I'm the younger brother, and where's Aslan?
I think that my favorite character has to be the witch, and I hope she appears yet again. I hope we keep getting her over and over and over again.
Sorry, Michael.
Be careful what I wish for, right?
I'm ready for my rating.
All right, lead us off.
I'm going to give this 1. I wish someone would look at me the way Tilda Swinton looks at Narnia.
That's hard to compete with. I will give it the second station of the cross. Jesus takes up his cross, because I feel like we're 2/3 of the way there, but I feel like this last movie is going to take an age.
I'm going to give this film 2 out of 5 Tilda Swinton cameos because it had way too few of them.
If this had 5 Tilda Swinton appearances, would this be a 5 out of 5 movie for you, Michael?
100%. If they let Tilda Swinton play 5 different characters and make 5 different cameos, I would change my rating entirely.
I love the idea if Michael was a director and like Tilda Swinton was just vibing. He'd be like, "How many roles do you want to play?"
Someone get her prosthetics!
It's all Tilda Swinton. She plays every role.
She would play me in my biopic.
Yeah, I could see it.
Oh, alright. So I guess the next one we're watching is this Dawn Treader thing.
Yeah, boy!
So I'm going to punish you with my next pick. I need you to know.
Yeah, that's probably fair. If Dawn Treader is as bad as Josh is saying, then yeah, maybe it's time.
The shortest.
Okay.
Is it really?
It's under 2 hours.
Wow.
You know what? I'll take it. That's not bad. That's the best news I've heard all week.
Yep.
And it's got the eyebrow dude in it.
That could mean so many different people.
I just wanted to sit in that silence for as long as I could. Yeah, the eyebrow dude. You'll see him and go, "Oh, yeah."
I guess listeners, stay tuned for the eyebrow dude.
Wait, is that Tilda Swinton in the background of the poster? Is she in this fucking movie? Is she in this fucking movie?
I bet she is in this movie. Man, I love this. Good.
She actually plays 6 different characters in this film, and it's my favorite one.
She actually plays both Lucy and Edmund, and you just didn't notice.
Yeah.
She plays Aslan this time. It's Tilda Swinton wearing a fucking...
a whole lion suit. A lion fursuit, yeah.
A skinned Aslan.
But her hands are still hers.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, sorry, I'm having memories. Yeah, we gotta end it here before I spoil it. Yeah.
Great, good. Alright. Gentlemen, where can people find you on the internet?
I am at Green History on Twitter.
I'm at Michael's Diamonds on Twitter.
I'm at AaronSXL on Twitter. I also do a podcast with my friend Layla at Mortified Pod. Last week we did an episode about the Jaden Smith anime Neo Yokio, which was fucking wild. So please listen to that if you're interested in that. And hopefully in the next coming weeks we will read Jade City, which is one of my favorite books ever. So please check us out. But as we cry tears of anticipation, dreading the voyage of the Dawn Treader, just remember that it is okay to cry, because even Jesus wept. We'll see you all next time.